straight out of Yonkers. You know what I'm saying? My man in Yonkers right now. You know what it? No, I don't know if he's in Yonkers at all.
What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Man, it feel like it's been a minute since I talked to you, man. I was off. I think you was gone the week before. It's been a minute since I hollered.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's that time of summer, right? Everybody doing some stuff, man. Happy belated, by the way.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
So I'm not like a big wish happy birthday on Instagram guy. I feel like it's a nuisance to the birthday part. Like I feel like I be saving people, but I'm speaking to you now, so I can tell you.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate the love on social media from everybody. Like, and I got a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of it. And I want it to continue. I'm not saying this to say like next year don't say nothing. Like, please, I appreciate the love and everybody doing it. It gets a little overwhelming. And then I feel bad if I only respond to like the first 10 people and then 20. I don't know what to do sometimes. So it's a lot.
Only so many times I can type yes sir. And then but you know what? You know what I'm gonna do though? One of these days, I'm gonna pretend it's my birthday, and I'm gonna just see who really knows. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna just do that and see what happens.
It's like 6 months away from your birthday.
Yeah,
and you have the caption like 36 blessed. You're like, oh, what's up, dog? Happy birthday. Well, you don't follow me. You just don't be paying attention. Like,
watch everybody.
Literally had my birthday 3 weeks ago.
It's funny too because I don't expect nobody to know my birthday. Who just knows birthdays unless we see them, right? But I would like to trick a few people and then like see you didn't know. Like, relax.
When is your birthday?
I'm not gonna tell you now because when I do the fake out,
I'm gonna check. No, I'm checking, man. I'll be like, nah.
My birthday's in November, man.
Yeah, see, so there's certain people where I've had them in my life long enough where I may not know the day, but I know the general time of year.
Yeah,
like,
you know what's
going on. Eddie, I've really known Eddie for maybe 2 or 3 years, so I don't know that yet. I'm not there yet. About 3 years from now, I'll know. Like, oh yeah,
we'll be locked in on it.
You would have got me. Like, if you would have like next week, if you would have been like 36, God bless me, I'd have been like, hey, big dog, happy birthday. You would have got me. Oh my
God. And you know, like the birthdays are funny too because it's like now I gotta go find that one picture me and this person have, and I'm gonna run it up.
and for the 3rd year in a row, put that on my stories.
And it's like 6 years old
in a year. We ain't took a flick in a year where I could take a new one. Let's go. Right. And I got to make sure I'm looking good in the picture. It don't matter about him.
That's really what the picture is. Like, I like this picture of me. Let me wish you a happy birthday with it.
Hell yeah, man. But everything going good with you? I was telling everybody after Summer League, which you didn't attend. Now the NBA offseason is like really here. Like now everybody goes on vacation. You know,
you're seeing all these pits. I literally just put my phone down. Chet Holmgren was on vacation in his final picture. So like you're seeing everybody on vacation, people getting married. Hearts, my boy.
People getting married. Hey, it don't matter to me, but the homies are like, yo, why didn't somebody give us a heads up? Why didn't we know this was the case? And I know that's your home girl. So why did we know?
So look, I knew for some time, right? And then it's like everybody's in town too. So like I'm like, oh, maybe I'll pop up, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do this. I didn't go to like it was a little too celebrity for me. But I kept wondering, and I talked to Taylor too, and I'm like, I wonder when this is gonna go public. And then it finally did, and I knew it went public because like 7 group chats lit up. Like I hadn't even seen it yet. And I'm like, oh, y'all seeing the news, huh?
And that came out of nowhere. The homies hit me up in the group chat like, WTF? 4 question marks. Everything.
That's the kind of respect Taylor got though, because in this world where we share everything, people been knowing about the wedding, the engagement, everything for a while now. And
it was like a real wedding.
So that's a lot of love.
Real wedding. It wasn't like, oh, this was probably half a year of planning, a beautiful location, invites, all this. Everybody, but all these people knew it, and nobody said nothing.
Nobody got eloped here. This was a thing. But like the engagement was a big thing, and they kept that tight. So like, the proposal. So again, salute to Taylor. Clearly, everybody loves her because everybody kept their mouth shut, including me. But yeah, I seen some broken hearts on the timelines, on the group chats, and
I
everything.
didn't even know Taylor. Broken hearts.
Yeah. Zero chance, by the way. Zero chance at that gorgeous woman. But I know it ruined some days, boy.
I was telling I forgot who I was talking to the other day, but Taylor last year came to Sacramento for a game. And I didn't meet her. I didn't have an opportunity. I would have told her like, hey, I think because professionally, I think she's dope. I think she does a really good job. So I probably would have said something like that. But I was telling people I saw from a distance after the game was over, the line for a picture with Taylor Rooks. I don't want to exaggerate it, but there was a line for a picture with Taylor Rooks. And she was like really nice. She took people's pictures, like really nice about it, smiles, pleasantries, and everything. But yeah, she be having a line for people to be like, hey, Taylor, can I get a picture?
It's a commotion if Taylor's in a room. It's a commotion. And she's polite, like you said, and she lets everybody have their moment. And that's, Taylor took me on my first red carpet walk. So she's like that type of person who's like, come on, you're walking the carpet. Like, no, come on. Like, so it's all love with Taylor. I know it hurt a bunch of people, but it's the season. It is the summer. And you see, very strategically planned for that very important sportswoman, Taylor Rooks. Right at the NBA draft, NBA free agency, everything, and right before OTAs, like she was not playing, boy. She knew exactly what she was doing.
She on her job. We kind of saw the same thing last year with Malika, huh? Didn't she get married around this time?
Yep.
Or she's only basketball, so it didn't affect her the same way with like OTAs and stuff and training camp. But yeah, this is the time. This is the time somebody next year probably get married around this time. That probably when Coco and Donovan get married. Probably around this time next year.
That one's gonna be one of them ones too. That might take a couple years because she might want to make sure that joint. She just seen a fly wedding. She's like, all right,
let that marinate a little bit. Yeah, let
me. That's like it's kind of like us with the shoes. Like more elaborate, but like, oh man, I seen how Kenny put on the 11s. Let me see.
Let me go. You know what? I forgot I had those in the closet. Let me see what I can do with them now.
But I got some stuff. Let's see. So I'm expecting that one to be crazy.
Yeah, and then your boy was there. Obviously, you talk about star-studded event, looking real dapper. He's looking real fresh. That's not my guy. I don't know him like that, but that's my guy. I ain't never seen a lineup that crisp. I ain't never seen a lineup that crisp. Well, that boy was like a sharp. I said, what?
I remember my man been wearing chrome hearts and all kind of stuff. Like he on a different place right now, man. I just salute. He been in the gym lifting. I've been cracking up. Like, man, not you getting biceps. What you doing, bro?
We talk about Kevin Durant. Obviously, he was in the building, man. So, I want to talk like NBA in general with you. We've been talking a lot of Kings, and I'll ask you some of the stuff that's going on with Jonathan Kuminga. Just your opinion on it, right? But when we talk about the Western Conference, I've said there's a tier where I think OKC's the favorite going into next year to repeat, win the West, all this other stuff. I think Houston is a championship contender. I don't know if I don't know if I'm ready until I see the season and see the games to say they're on the same tier as OKC. It's like, I guess they'd be like the favorites type tier, but I think Houston is a championship contender. And I don't think there's any other championship contenders in the West. A little below that, I have Denver, and I do have the Clippers. Would you change any of that? Like, would you put Denver up there with Houston or the Clippers up there with Houston?
Put my bias hat on. Put my bias hat on. I'm gonna put Houston. I'm gonna put Houston on their own tier and say they're gonna win. But but I think they all have things we go into the season concerned about. When you look at Houston, to me, it's dribble creation. And I said this to Kevin. We talked about it the day he got traded, and there was still some adjustments to be made and stuff like that. But they have one point guard right now, Fred VanVleet. And even the guys they added like Josh Okogie, it's not like he's going to play point guard. So there's a lot of responsibility on Kevin at that point. Or Amen Thompson, if he's making this leap and playing a little bit more point guard. And we see every year how much, dribble creation matters, shot creation matters. And I think if you're pro Houston, you say, well, Kevin can do that. And if you're pro Kevin, you say, yeah, well, Kevin can do that. But we see how teams defend him, and teams are going to trap him and double him and get the ball out of his hand and see that he can do that. And I have confidence in his ball handling ability, but I would rather there be some help somewhere.
Right.
When I look at Denver, it's like, there's injuries. Obviously, you worry about Jamal Murray. You worry about, is Christian Braun have another leap in him? You got to get Cam Johnson in there. I think he's a great fit, though, so I don't think that's going to be hard. I think that's the team that we all kind of looking past right now, maybe because we're used to Jokic, whatever it is. That's the team to me that's like, I think they're in that tier as well. Like, I think they're in that tier with OKC where that team can win a title. They got way better this offseason, and they didn't do much with it. They got Bruce Brown for next to nothing. They got Cam, who I think is a better fit at this point than Mike. Mike is probably a better player, Michael Porter Jr., but right. They've solidified their roster in a way that I think you're looking at that and you're saying, we took OKC to 7 games and we honestly should have won. We got better this offseason. They're pretty much running it back. We think we're the better team. So, I mean, those are the teams to me. When I look at the Clippers is a little bit too old. Like, it worries me a little bit. And that's with Kawhi, obviously, with his concerns. You add Chris Paul, who is like that old, and James, obviously, with his injury concerns as well. But I love the Brad Beal pickup for them. I love what he brings, whether it's off the bench or as a starter, at a cheaper price than what you had for him in Phoenix. It's easy to say he's not as good as $54 million, and that's true. But when you get him at this price, he can play up to that. So I like what they did. I'm not a big Chris Paul fan, especially at this stage of his career, especially next to James Harden, especially next to Kawhi Leonard. But that's a team that's going to be reckoned with. But we said that all last year, and then they were out quick too. So, that's one of those teams I got to see it. So I'd put them a tier below, and then it's all jumbled up from there. You got Steph Curry and everything else going on after that, and it's a mess.
That's what I was going to ask you too with the West. Do you think there's somebody we're leaving out or we're overlooking? I don't, until, like I said, I see the games and maybe, I feel differently when I see them playing. But like right now, I don't look at the Lakers as being that type of team, a championship team. I don't look at the Warriors like that. I don't think the Spurs are there. I don't think Minnesota is there as much as I like Ant and everything else like that. I think those 4 teams that we originally talked about, I think they've separated themselves from everybody else in the West.
Look, there's a massive question mark with the Spurs to me. I mean, it's a salute to Wemby. If anything, it's a small salute to De'Aaron Fox. I'm also a huge Dylan Harper fan. So seeing him in the summer league, seeing what he has, and summer league is a mess. Summer league is jumble. It's nasty basketball anyway. But seeing him next to NBA size, seeing how big he is, a healthy 6'6", I'm really excited about what that team's going to be. Victor Wembanyama is one of those like defensive forces that everybody's going to be able to play defense around him because you can't drive. So if I know you can't drive, I can do all kind of stuff to you now. I could look a lot better than I am defensively. And I think, look, he's maybe the best prospect of all time. He's made a gradual leap in his second year. I'm expecting another one in his third year. The other team I'd point out is Dallas. Just because I love that for Cooper Flagg. I'm not the biggest Cooper Flagg fan, but I love the situation for him. He can come along slower. He's not going to kind of have that Ace Bailey situation where he's going to have the ball and not only be able to look as good as he can look, but also look as bad as he can look. And he's surrounded by veterans who are going to help, teach him the culture of the league and help him slide into a role on that team. And when Kyrie comes back, if, Kai kind of makes it sound like he maybe not this season, it should be full steam ahead. And I think Jesse Kidd's a great coach for him too. So that's another team that's a sneaky one, but they're going to sneak up on us in February and March when they're fully healthy and they get going. And maybe they add LeBron James. Who knows?
Well, there's always that. LeBron, that's an interesting character right now, boy. LeBron, he made sure he's been a topic of conversation all summer in sports and outside of sports.
I love how LeBron makes it all about him no matter what. Like, he's clearly involved with Tyler, the Creator's album somehow, some way. He could have just said nothing. The video could have just dropped, but here's ass go on Thursday talking about let's go. Why are you saying that? They searching your tweets for Tyler, the Creator tweets for 20 years and he ain't found none. And then it's just like, right then and there, you could kind of guess he might be involved somehow. And sure enough, there he is in the video. So, I mean, look, I'm a little like, I don't love how tabloidy sports is these days. I kind of don't care what he's dancing to with his wife or whatever. But it is
Although
funny to watch. It is funny to watch.
he was dancing to that song like it was the second week the song came out. At this point, sir, there's no reason to be dancing that hard to that song.
He was dancing like it was the Gap Band or something. Like it was like took him back. You know what I mean? Like this, we on a cruise and they playing the jams, and we just, it like I'm not trying to psychoanalyze LeBron and Drake, but this is my point.
Mm.
When Drake made a song and he's dissing like fraud people, a lot of people just assumed it was LeBron. Nobody said Drake was wrong. A lot of people jumped out and said, "Hey, don't do that to LeBron."
Right.
It wasn't about LeBron, but the shoe fit for a lot of people, and to me, that's enough. You could kind of allude at somebody being a little wishy-washy and off, and people will immediately defend LeBron. It's like you kind of telling on yourself a little bit there. But anyway, yeah, I'm ready for basketball. I'm ready for football. Like, can we stop seeing these dudes dancing this song?
It's almost time to get there. I do want to talk to you about football too, because training camp has started. Raiders, you're a Raider fan. I want to know what you think about it. But I want to ask you one more thing about basketball, and I don't know how tapped in you are to it because it's not the biggest story just yet. It's kind of went under the radar this week, but this whole situation about expansion and how we may not be as close as we realize or we thought we were to NBA expansion. Adam Silver talked, I think, during Summer League, answered question to reporters, and he really kind of sidestepped the question a lot and was kind of talking about, there's a lot of people that, are interested in getting teams, and it's something that we've got to do. And he said something that like really resonated with a lot of reporters was he's like, when you talk about expansion, we're really like on day one of that process. And everybody thought we were like damn near at the finish line. Like, what you mean day one? A lot of people are speculating that the owners are kind of looking at the new TV deal. And I'm like, yeah, we want to split that one of 30, not one of 32. Like, what you talking about? Expansion can wait. We ain't splitting it up just yet. Do you like kind of agree with what everybody else is kind of hypothesizing, that the thought of Vegas and Seattle may be a little further down the road than we realize?
Yeah, like that's one of those stories that's kind of like you mentioned, been under the radar, been kind of building up for some time. I mean, a couple years ago, for all intents and purposes, it seemed like Kevin was on his way to some portion of a team in Seattle, and LeBron and the Fenway Group were on their way to some portion of a team in Vegas. But it quieted quick for whatever reason. And the most insight I ever had to it was when the Commanders went up for sale after all of that. And I remember asking Kevin outright, like, yo, are you going to get in on this? And it's like, I'm just not there yet. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to, but I'm just not there yet. And we talked a little bit about the NBA team, and he was the one who kind of made like, yo, that's like way out the way, like way pipe dream at this moment. And so I was just like, oh, okay, again, just tuck that. We're just having a casual conversation. But the LeBron noise died down a lot too. And his connections with the Fenway Group and all the stuff they're doing. And I think Kevin just became part of a soccer team group. I don't pay the closest attention to all of it, but it did definitely seem like the expansion talks quieted down. And Adam Silver said something, maybe it was around the All-Star break, where they're closer to a team in Paris than they are to a team in Seattle. Yeah. And that kind of went under the radar too, but it was telling because it was the NBA's mission for 20 years has been international expansion, in international, just global expansion. And so much of their moves in terms of marketing, in terms of business, in terms of everything else pointed towards that. They have the United States, it's fine. They have Canada, it's fine. They have some of Mexico, it's fine. They want China, they want Germany, they want England, they want all of this stuff. And they are consistently making moves towards that. So when he said that, we're closer to Paris than we are to Seattle, that's what jumped out to me as well. I think it's a while. I think it's a while before they want to split that money up. The values of these teams are so overwhelming right now that I think that in and of itself creates a problem too. Because it's like, okay, what do we charge you to get in now? Because we just had a team valued at $10 billion. Like, what are you going to get? How do you buy into a league where that's $10 billion worth of work? We just had a W team worth $500 million. Like, so it's like, I don't think there's a rush there. I don't think they need it. I don't think they have the talent pool for that either. We have some bad teams. And so I don't see there's the rush for that. Maybe some realignment, but I think they're also waiting for the expansion to make their realignment as well.
And they got another team that they've got to sell and set the floor. I would think when talking about the Trailblazers, I don't think the Blazers are going for the Lakers, what the Lakers did, but if somebody potentially, whether it's Phil Knight or somebody overpays, quote unquote, overpays for Portland and gets them at $5 billion. All right, Portland just went for $5 billion. That's the floor. Like that's where we're starting. And now you're asking a question, and I'm sure there's people who would do it, but like now the pool starts to shrink of people who are like, all right, man, you want me to pay $9 billion to be in the NBA? Like, I'm cool. Like, I don't really need to do that.
When the Lakers are valued at $10 billion, and that look, the valuation is true. You are what we can sell you for. You start looking at the Knicks and saying, well, that might be 15. They have the building, they have everything. Or you start looking at the Cowboys and it's like, is the Cowboys $20 billion? Like, what is each of these situations? What is the Dodgers? What is the Yankees? And so when you put 10 billion up there, you completely alter the sports landscape, right? And we're probably on our way to $1 billion W franchise at some point if the Valkyries are 450 million, right? So everything's changed. And just like you just said, there's only so many people that can foot a $10 billion bill on earth. And then you start getting into, it was rumored for a while that the Saudis may get involved with the Celtics. And it's like, how deep do you go down that rabbit hole? And on and on and on and on. And personally, I don't think the NBA cares, but it's just Pandora's box. So I don't think they're ready for that. But when they are, the line for those two teams or one or whatever it is, it will be 4 times as long as the line is for these W teams, and everybody's lining up for these.
Well, and then you brought it up, and you're 100% right. I remember seeing this too, and I continue to see it. I saw it yesterday, where Adam seems to be like he's the main thing. I want to say the main thing. One of the things I keep consistently hearing is he's locked in on this Euro version of the NBA, like battling the Euro League and stuff like that, and it kind of feels like that's his baby right now. That's what he's trying to foster, as opposed to 2 more teams in America. You know what I
mean? And that goes towards how the league is marketed as well. We've had these conversations a bit before where we haven't really moved on from the big 3. But when I talk to people in the league and the marketing teams in the league office and they handle international comms and all this stuff, 2 years ago when all 3 of those guys were out playing in first round, it was a panic. Because everything dips when LeBron, Steph, and KD are gone. Everything. And their focus is international expansion. And so we need to see massive numbers over there. You know who people watch in other countries? You know who they tune in for? LeBron, Steph, and KD. Love all the young guys, love all the other stars, all of that, great stuff. But they're here to see LeBron, Steph, and KD. So there's a lot of work to be done. I think that's a huge focus for the NBA as well. Like, how do we expand internationally without those 3 guys? Because we're not going to have those 3 guys forever. How do we build up the stars we have? I think the last wave of stars, the guys who are approaching 30 and into 30 now, we're talking about the Jokic's and the Giannis's, didn't quite have the boost as they would hope. And then you have this next wave of stars, the Tatums, the Anthony Edwards, the Sheas, and eventually the Wembys. And they're hoping that's going to be the wave where it happens. Again, the NBA's focus has been for 20 years expanding internationally. It was David Stern's baby, is now Adam Silver's baby. So much like he said, like we might see a Paris team before we see the Seattle team. If they can handle the travel and make all that make sense, I think we would have already had it. Yeah. It's just, there's a few barriers in the way, but they're going to play more and more international games every year. They're playing more next year. They're going to China next year. I think we're just going to continue that upward trajectory.
Eddie, before I get you out of here, we got about 30 seconds. I got to get we're going to have a more in-depth conversation as the month goes along, but just real quick, real surface, how you feel about your Raiders, man? You thinking 500 is a possibility?
Hey, man, we got extra playoff spot this year. I mean, I'm bought into Geno. It's that time of year. Like, once they start playing these preseason games, and I'm like, man, Geno been cool for a couple years, and Max looks good, and this and that. I mean,
they need line. I think that's their
it's the line, and I don't love drafting a running back at 5 when you need a line, but I think they'll be competitive once.
Gentry worth it.
But Pete Carroll said the other day, like, I've been winning 10 games a year for 20 years. They're going to be a competitive, prepared bunch. I just don't know if they have the talent, like you said, on the line. And now the D-line, when they lose my guy yesterday, but it is what it is. Before I go, shout out my dog Marcus. He dropped the album today. It's fire. They're performing at the State Fair. They posting it all over his stuff. Marcus C+.
He performing tonight at the fair?
I think it is the night.
Okay.
He doing a set with Plus, and I just wanted to shout them out because I hate that I can't be out there for some of this stuff, but it sounds like the fair is cracking again, man.
It is. The weather's been great too. That's the killer. Like, that's the good thing. Like, it hasn't been 100 for pretty much since the first night the fair was here. It was like really hot, and Ludacris was here, but it still had a good crowd. After that, it's been like, I don't even know if it's gotten into 90s since then. Like, it's been hella good. So
dog, it's
been too long, bro. You keep saying it's been too long. You need to get back out here, bro. Stop playing with us.
It's 95 and storming out here right now. Marcus got that album, Not Enough Years. That's what it's called. So I wanted to get it right. Yo, I was supposed to come next week. Cat's out the bag. I was supposed to come next week. I had to cancel last minute. I had to do some work stuff out here. But I'll be out there soon, man. My daughter just got a crib. Like, she want me to see it. It's a lot going on. It's a lot. I need to be out there.
It's live in the studio, bro. You got to pull up, bro.
That was like, bro, we're going to talk because I need to make that happen.
Yes, sir. Eddie, man, I appreciate you, man. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to talk to you next week, big dog.
Yes, sir. Salute, my guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.